Hi guys, my name is Jasmine Aparicio and today we're in my kitchen and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a fruit pizza. Now for those of you who may not know what a fruit pizza is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a super delicious dessert. It consists of a sugar cookie base covered in cream cheese, and then on top of the cream cheese we have an assortment of fruit. This is one of my favorite desserts to make because it's super simple and easy to make. It's not time consuming, it's relatively inexpensive, and it's a unique dessert to take for family parties. With that too, the fruit pizza is super versatile. You can change it in a variety of different ways and it can be different every single time you make it. And on top of that, I promise you that it will taste as good as it looks. Now I'm excited to get started, so let's do it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things that you will need in order to prepare this fruit pizza. So first things first, you're going to need a cookie sheet. It can be a round one, a rectangular one, whatever other shapes are out there. But today I'm just going to use a round one. And then we'll also need our sugar cookie. I'm sure there's recipes out there that teach you how to make the sugar cookie from scratch. But for today, I am just going to use the store-bought cookie dough. And we'll follow the instructions on the back of that for preparing that. You're also going to need some cream cheese frosting. I get the store-bought, I enjoy the whipped one, just the regular cream cheese. I've tried the other kinds that they offer, but I personally like the whipped one. I think it's the right consistency. It's not too thick, and it's also not too sweet, so it goes really well with the fruit. But again, the fruit pizza is super versatile, so if you wanted to do a different flavor of cream cheese or icing or whatever, you totally can. The last thing you're going to need is the fruit. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the fruit pizza is super versatile, which is great for family parties or work parties, especially if there's people that have certain allergies to fruits or if you just personally prefer some fruits over others. So you can pick and choose whichever fruits you want on your pizza. I typically keep it around 4 to 5 fruits, different fruits. So today we are going to be putting some raspberries on our pizza, kiwis, mandarin oranges, strawberries, and then bananas. The first step is obviously going to be to get your hair out of the way and to get your hands washed. Now the first thing we are going to prepare is the sugar cookie base. So after washing your hands, we will start on this. Again, we are just following the instructions on the back of the package, which says to preheat the oven to 325 degrees. So I'm gonna run over to my oven. My oven takes forever to warm up, so we're gonna get that going, and then we will spread the cookie sheet, or the cookie onto the cookie sheet. Now we're just gonna spray our pan with some non-stick cooking spray just to make sure our cookie can be peeled off super easily and doesn't get stuck to the pan. Now, while your oven is preheating, we're going to get the sugar cookie dough out of the package, and we're going to begin to spread it onto our pan. Now I'm sure there's a variety of different ways that you could go about this, but I personally don't try too hard on getting this part ready just because the cookie itself is going to be covered with the frosting and with all the fruit, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And I just use my fingers and just kind of push the cookie dough out until it covers all the edges, and just try to get it as even as possible. Now our pizza is spread evenly and we're going to put it in the oven. And we will begin the timer for 12 minutes. Now I like to just bake mine until it's nice and golden brown. Now that our cookie is in the oven baking, we will begin preparing the fruit. So preparation for the fruit, all that requires is that the fruit be washed under warm water, and then we will slice the fruit if it needs to be sliced. So I typically will slice the bananas, the strawberries, and kiwis, but the mandarins and the raspberries, I just leave them as they are because they are already pretty small. Okay, so now that we have all of our fruit nice and washed, we're gonna pull this over to the side and move our cutting board in, and we will begin to prepare that. So here's my cutting board. And we're just gonna go ahead and start with the strawberries. So for the strawberries, I just cut the top off, and then you can cut them however, but I like to cut them in thin little circles, like so. And we'll just push those off to the side. We finished with the strawberries. We're going to get our kiwis, and we're gonna get our potato peeler and peel that skin off. Now that we have our kiwis and strawberries cut and our mandarins and our raspberries off to the side, we'll take our bananas and we're just gonna peel them. And then we will slice those also. I just got our cookie out of the oven. It looks a little like this. I'm just gonna set it aside for about 10 minutes or so, just to let it cool down and get nice and firm. We wanna wait for it to be completely cool before we apply the frosting, otherwise the frosting will melt, and we don't want that. We want a nice thick layer of frosting on there. So now that our pizza's had adequate time to cool down, we will begin frosting it. We'll begin adding the fruit. So I'm just gonna move that on over. And with the fruit, there's no specific order that it needs to go in. It doesn't need to be color coded. However, if you wanted to, you just throw it all on top. But I like to make it pretty, so I do it one fruit all the way around, and then another row of a different fruit and another row. And then I'll typically start with the fruit that I have the most of for the outside, since it has to cover a larger area. And that completes our fruit pizza. It looks super pretty with all the fruit on there, and now it's ready to enjoy. If you don't plan to enjoy it immediately, I recommend that you put some plastic wrap over it and throw it in the fridge so that the fruit doesn't begin to spoil and go bad. I also recommend putting it in there in between servings if you're not going to eat it all at once. But that's it. Enjoy, and I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was helpful. And if you do try it out, I hope you love it.